What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Blacksmith Podcast. You already know how we do it over here in the Forge. The Blacksmith is in the Forge, and today I've got for you my first reaction video. Now, I've seen this video online gaining steam with Stephen A. talking to this lady, Jennifer Lewis. I had no idea who this lady was, right? I've I've seen a piece of this interview, and the crazy thing is, I looked her up, and I've seen some stuff that she was in. I couldn't tell you, but um, this is my first reaction video, so we're gonna listen to this, and I'm just gonna react. I'll probably pause it throughout. I haven't seen. I saw a clip of this, but not the whole thing. And I watched the first 18 minutes of it, as you can see, and we just got to the part I saw that I wanted to react to. So without further ado, let's get it.
And I believe that Kamala Harris would have done that. This thing is divisive, cruel, and evil, insane, narcissistic.
Okay, she's talking about Donald Trump for context. This thing is cruel and evil, narcissistic. And I will say this, I should let her talk, but most people use the word narcissistic. It's just feminine language, right? Feminist language, right? They don't actually even know what narcissistic means. And I really hate hearing the word because most people use narcissist as a way to describe men they can't control. And guys, you have to understand that that is manhood. We're not supposed to be controlled by women. We're supposed to be men. And in the village mentality, right, with the village mindset, the men were the leaders, right? So you're not supposed to be controlled by women. So if that's what she means to say, and Donald Trump can't be controlled by a lot of these folks that don't like him, which is why they don't like him. I'm not saying I do. I don't like hearing people use the word narcissist. They don't even know what it means.
And he's a sociopath.
Or that.
But honey, we are the people. And we're not going to allow this dictatorship. I told everybody you can be scared, but we must be.
All right, folks. I'm probably going to do terrible in this reaction video. Dictatorship. Do we know what a dictatorship is? This lady's using terminology, and that I don't think she knows what it really means. And at her age, I think I looked her up. She's 67. Um, she's a year older than my dad would have been if he's still alive. She should know better because she comes from a time where you don't say things that's not true, and you don't just say things just to say them, right? Dictatorship. There's three levels to government: executive branch, which is the presidency; legislative branch, which is Congress. All right. Your House of Representatives with the Senate combined 535 seats. That is Congress. 435 in the House of Representatives, 100 in the Senate. That's the legislative branch. Then you have the judicial branch, and those are your judges, the Supreme Court. It cannot be a dictatorship when you have a system of checks and balances. In fact, last time he was president, I think in 16, right away when he did that travel ban, the judicial branch, the courts came in and said, hey, this is unconstitutional, and they lifted it. It cannot be a dictatorship. This is America. You can't just say stuff. And that's part of why our society is so crazy right now. Anyway.
Unafraid. Now, how do you fight? You go to your city council meetings, you go to your zoning meetings. So, and you'll know who's raising your rent. Educate yourself because you're losing your rights. And I'm talking to the Gen Zs and the millennials now. You ain't going to have no pension if you don't fight. You ain't gonna have Social Security or health care if you don't fight. So learn how to fight. Listen to smart people. People, listen to Steve. Listen to Stacey Abrams. Listen to Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett and Maxine Waters. Listen to them.
All right. I know who Stephen A is. Stephen A talks about sports, right? Stacey Abrams, Crockett, whoever that is, I have no idea. Maxine Waters, I know who that is. Um, talk to him for what? He already won. Um, what really, Peter Griffin, grinds my gears is the fact that a lot of people pay no attention to local elections. uh, the delegates in the House of Representatives, the senators, there's two to a state, right? um, a lot of people pay no attention to those elections. In fact, the voter turnout for those are really piss poor, right? However, when the national election on, that's when everybody knows everything's about politics. All the know-it-alls come out and they all have something to say, and they all know all about politics without ever looking up voting records, without ever voting in the local elections, which those laws affect your district, your city, your state, and affect your life way more than a president does. They never look up anything. They don't even know, have never even read the preamble to the Constitution. And most people will say, "What is that?" Right? They have no idea about anything, but they're getting on TV, they're getting on social media, and they want to talk about it. And people are just going off the rails about this election. Listen, folks, I'm not blue or red, I'm purple. Okay. You need to posture yourself uh, to ride the rip wave and defend yourself against what's coming if something is coming, right? You need to posture yourself so that you can win regardless of what color is in office, because we're all Americans at the end of the day. Anyway, it's crazy.
Listen to who knows what roads to take now, because this Republican Party ain't playing. Let me ask you this. What about what they've said in terms of black, particularly black men and Latinos, supported him more than they have in the
Here we go.
past? Why do you think that is? And what do you have to say to black men and Latinos who were not in favor of supporting Kamala Harris? Oh, honey. Oh, honey. Mm. When your favorite niece and your 13-year-old daughter is raped by your alcoholic brother
Wow.
or the next door neighbor,
Wow.
and she tries to abort that baby inside of her
Wow.
from a rape, you're going to regret that.
Wow.
They want to keep women in their place. It's so disgusting. I can't even put words to them voting for her. They didn't vote for her, didn't vote because she was a woman. They didn't.
I can't make it. I can't do it. Listen, first of all, so much to break down in what she just said, okay? Y'all gonna make me get the blacksmith hammer out. Listen, first of all, pregnancies from that crime resulting in baby deletions, because I heard YouTube is pretty strict on what you can and can't say on here. They may not even like the fact that I let her say that, but I don't know how to bleep it because I'm new to reactions, right? However, that is such a minute percentage of baby deletions. It's almost negligible. It's not that it doesn't happen to women, but guys, pay attention, okay? What she's talking about, if you look up these statistics, is like less than 1% what she's talking about. And baby deletion was one of the largest thing. I'm gonna tell you right now, in listening to all of the election news, right? That was baby deletion, and the right to do that was the number one reason that women came out in droves to vote against the Red Party, right? Number two was voting for the Blue Party because she's a woman. Number three was because they didn't like who just got elected, right? They didn't like Trump. That was it. I mean, if we're all being honest, that is it. Okay? What she just said right here, how often does that happen? I'm not saying it's not terrible, and I'm not saying it doesn't matter. Of course, it's terrible. Of course, it matters. But for the percentage of baby deletions she is talking about and that we were talking about in this election, it's negligible. That is not the bulk of them. The bulk of them is people using them for contraceptives or because they didn't use a contraceptive. And it's, oh, I made a mistake and I don't want to live with my mistake. I don't like the consequence of doing stuff with people I'm not married to, right? Most of them. So I'm just going to get rid of it, right? That's what it was about. So what is she talking about?
Didn't care that she was smart and powerful.
Oh, sorry. Here's the other piece, right? And I'm going to let this play out. If they did not vote for her because she's a woman, isn't that their right? Do we have freedom of speech and freedom of choice, or don't we? They voted for him because they didn't vote for him because they didn't like him. Is that a good reason? Is that a political reason to not vote for him? But we don't weigh things the same, right? The same way it's not natural for guys to want to be led by females. Like, look at culture all over the world for all over time. When we were tribal, right? We had villages. The chiefs weren't women. The leaders weren't women. The guys went to war. This is ingrained within men. So naturally, men are gonna have a natural inclination to not like that. I'm just saying, if they did not vote for her because she's a woman, that's their right. You may not like it, but you can't stop them. It's their right. And if you would take their right to vote away because they didn't vote for her because she's a woman, then you don't like the idea of America because that is their right. And in the military, you fight for the rights of racists and bigots, of people who don't like the military, people who don't like guns, people who don't like war. You fight for everyone's rights. You don't just fight for the rights for the people that you like.
Educated, beautiful, kind, joyful,
Beautiful. That's debatable.
fearless. She would have taken care of this country. She would have protected the people. She would have surrounded herself with great minds. But keeping women in their place was more important to them. And black men, that was just shocking because, honey, he's going to give the military and the police permission to shoot you in your back, and there will be no immunity.
Did y'all just hear this? First of all right. How am I gonna make it through? Do people make it through reaction videos through the whole thing? I don't know. Like, I've seen a couple. Do they stop as much? What is going? What? Okay, first of all, this lady has an agenda. It's pretty darn clear about that, right? Uh, she has an agenda. She is spreading more of this male versus female narrative, right? That men don't like women and women don't like men. And that's just not true. Like, I have a wife. I adore my wife, right? When she says keep women in their place, what she's referring to is women being traditional, women being classic, women being how they have always been throughout all time and all cultures, the bulk of women, right? Yeah, you have some outliers. Cleopatra rose to power and stuff, the Queen of Sheba, Queen Elizabeth, but Queen Elizabeth had a king before too. So he died a long time ago. So, but here's the thing though, she doesn't like the classic woman that she grew up with. She was born in 1957. 1957. In her time, I bet you anything, her parents were married and her mom was a housewife or homemaker. Bet you anything. My dad was born a year after her. His parents were married. His mom worked for a little bit when they were young, scrubbing floors of rich people to make ends meet. And then my granddad had, he was a janitor in the school district for 30 years, right? Farmingdale School District in New York. He had a construction company that he started on his own and a landscaping company with my dad and his brother, my uncle, right? And he made ends meet. But he had a good woman at home. And this is the fear, men. Pay attention that they try to put into you. They try to pit women against you. They try to tell women that that's not okay to be a homemaker. What's not okay about it? I mean, reading levels were way up back then. People were graduating high school and were objectively smarter. Science changes over time, so different things might change and what they knew might have changed. History is being rewritten and all of that stuff, but society was actually better. The divorce rate was way down. Marriages were lasting the test of time. So when she says this lady has an agenda. She's a feminist, and I don't mean in the definition of feminist, just being pro women, right? This lady is one of those feminist women who hate men. She's just a man hater. Now, they use the term misogyny, right? Most of them don't know what that means. She didn't say it just now, but women like her say that. What does that mean? That means the hate of men. That's all it, I mean, I'm sorry, the hate of women. That's all it means. She's a misandrist. She hates men. No one ever uses that term, but it exists.
So, baby, y'all done fucked up.
And she got a
You took
filthy mouth.
every right from your children.
Good
Once
God.
again, there will be no social security and pensions and rights. This thing has said you will never have to vote again. He's going to be in charge of the military. We have fucked up.
Newsflash, lady, he was already in charge of the military for 4 years, and I should know I was in it when he got elected the first time. And no, he never gave us the order to shoot citizens or I guess black people and Latino people, or not people, the men, right? That's what she said, right? That didn't happen. Where's all this over the top stuff happening about the president? Where's all this stuff coming from? This lady's lost her mind.
End of story.
You don't think it was a simple
End of story. We gonna end this one right here, folks. I can't get through this video. I thought I could. I cannot. I don't know what's wrong with this lady. This lady, I don't know her. This is somebody's auntie, somebody's grandma, somebody's nene in them. This is somebody's mama. I'm not gonna talk. Well, I already kind of said some stuff. I, I'm just being objective. This lady has an agenda, and she does not like men. You could tell. And from what I saw, she was married. So, and if she's like this, I don't suspect that her husband is a very strong man. Men, pay attention. This is what's on the news. This is what's on TV. And you have to be strong and we have to be united out here because we have to take our society back. You have to have the village mindset right. This woman back in the village would have been kicked out of the village. This does not promote unity. That village was united. They did not allow stuff like this. There were always bad men. If a man was robbing, stealing, trying to get other people's women, guess what? They kill him. If he try to come back, they put him to death. You can't be here. We don't allow stuff like that here because this village needs to stand. So you need unities, marriages to last. We don't hate women in this village. We don't hate men in this village. Have the village mindset, folks, and she just doesn't have it. This stuff right here will rot your brain in this rotten society right now. Listen, if you like content like this, please hit that like button, share this, and subscribe, right? Tell me how this reaction was in the comments. Let me know. The Blacksmith Forge out.
Situation of looking at these.
Oh, see, I don't even know how to end the